AMC stock has been on an unfortunate downtrend for the past couple of days, but what if that's not the case for much longer? Let's talk about some news related to AMC, where I think the stock could be headed very soon, and a variety of other factors. Make sure to watch to the very end of this video, and make sure to comment down below how many shares of AMC that you're holding so we know how strong the AMC army is. Make sure to like the video, but other than that, let's get right into it. Alrighty guys, here we are with AMC Entertainment Holdings sitting at about $34.96 per share. And as you can see here, this is as of July 16th, which of course was Friday. Today is July 17th, just to give you an idea of where we're at as far as the dates go. And if we just look, we're down about 2.89% on the day today, or rather yesterday. And unfortunately, just this has been kind of the case for the last couple of days. AMC has not been on the greatest of trends recently. And we've just been seeing a lot of downward pressure. But we're going to read this article today that I found that I think gives some insight into this, and it's why AMC stock is plunging again this week, and Cineworld and Cinemark are following suit. Pretty much all movie theater chains, pretty much the market in general is not having a great, or it has not had a great week this week. And a lot of people are very concerned that it won't be having a great week following the next coming of weeks because of everything going on with the CPI data, the inflation data that's going on right now, as well as just overall consumer issues going on with the printing of money. But I digress. Let's get into this article. So, what happened? It has been another rough week for movie theater stocks despite rebounds on Thursday and Friday. Names like AMC Entertainment Holdings, Cinemark Holdings are poised to end Friday's session nearly 20% below last Friday's close. Is leading the way, Cinemark with a weekly loss in excess of 20% as of midday Friday. Shares of IMAX are faring the best by virtue of a most modest loss around 13%, which is still crazy. Overall setbacks mark the fourth straight week of selling pressure on these once skyrocketing stocks. So what? Don't look for specific reasons AMC and its peers took a tumble this week if you won't find one. Rather, you'll feel one. The plunges are a result of a reversal of the meme stock mania that drove them to shocking highs in June. Speculative investors finally offering a chance to look around and assess the ascension, seeming to realize all of these stocks will struggle to justify their still lofty valuations. Now, a lot of you watching this video may think that this is kind of a short written article. This is written by somebody who obviously maybe is not the biggest fan of AMC to begin with, or meme stocks in general. And you can definitely tell by the language that they're using that is probably the case. They don't seem to either enjoy or like AMC, and that of course is something we need to keep in mind when reading these articles, because that obviously gives us some insight into what they're going to say, and that's important, of course. The rise and fall of AMC and shares and other theater chain stocks that latched onto the volatility was inevitable, and the rally's roots were untenable. The quadruple-digit gain logged over the course of the first half of the year wasn't based on fundamentals, but was instead the result of an effort coordinated online to force hedge funds to rapidly repurchase shares of AMC that they had overwhelmingly sold short, thus driving the price upward. I don't know why they just explained a short squeeze to everybody. Most people know what that is, but hey, you gotta fill the word count somehow, I guess. But the rest of this article basically just talks about how AMC is still very much in gamble, and whether or not it can repeat the performance. And for the most part, they think that maybe it won't. They kind of think it's going to stagnate, and that's kind of the deal with that. Now, as far as what I think about this article, I think that one is definitely written by someone who has maybe a distaste for meme stocks, or just any of these stocks that are related to memes, or just even anything that's talked about on Reddit really in general, or things that are short squeezed. And I think that overall, I don't think he's correct. I think that AMC still has a long ways to go. The fundamentals are actually there. The fundamentals are actually quite strong when you read into some of these different articles that talk about them. Everything going on with the board of directors right now, everything going on with the reopening of all of these locations as more and more vaccines, of course, are distributed and the mask mandates are lifted and more businesses are allowed to open. In fact, pretty much almost every state right now is fully open. There are some, restrictions and certain things going back and forth, but overall, it's doing very well. And we'll have to see, of course, what happens in the future with this, because right now AMC hasn't been faring too well. And you know what, just so we can segue nice and easy, let's get into the overall price action here with AMC. This was the last day we saw here where we just kind of opened kind of high here at the 38 level, dumped down to about 36, tried to recover here as people bought the dip, and unfortunately could not hold those levels and dumped the rest of the day down to a low in the after hours of about $33. But let's pull out to a wider time frame here. We'll go to the 20-day. This is what they were speaking of, where AMC has seen continued selling pressure for a long time now, and this is why one of the big reasons why I'm not currently invested in AMC. I got out, when the getting was getting good. And I did not want to experience a rather large pullback, because this is what happens, and this is what we need to be aware of course, with these types of stocks, is that when we see these massive run-ups here to this $77 range, right? The $77 range was the peak of this short squeeze run-up, and then we saw a sudden huge pullback because fundamentally, unfortunately, guys, that valuation does not make sense, right? It just doesn't. There's no fundamentals backing that. So retail pressure will keep it there. But again, you have to remember, everybody that you're telling on the internet to hold their shares, to not sell, to do all these things. Most of retail traders and investors aren't going to do that, unfortunately. They're not going to hold these shares, if they're up 500% on their, on gains. They're not going to do that, unfortunately. Some people will, sure, but most investors in AMC, a lot of them who are retail traders who got in because a friend of their friends told them to throw 20 bucks into the stock, and then they got lucky with the original short squeeze, they're going to sell, and that's what caused this massive pullback. And again, that's what is continuing to cause these pullbacks. And of course, too, we had the massive pattern fail right here, where we had the pennant, which should have led to a crazy upward movement in price, and unfortunately it broke out in the negative direction downside, and we're continuing to do that now. Now, one thing I want to point out though that I think is important, that is some good news. Connection lost, whoops. That is some good news here. We can see that RSI is spiking heavily below the 30 level, and we're now starting to approach it once again. We've done it twice now. And when stocks are heavily oversold, that they go below the 30 level. And that is usually, for my own personal risk tolerance, where I like to buy. I like to buy things that are on sale and very, very cheap, right? So I can get a good average and I can feel more comfortable about my position with them. So this is what they're looking at as they've gone lower. And I am probably waiting for one more confirmation below the RSI line, below the 30 line, if it can go there. And then maybe we can start to see a reversal in this downward trend. It might be slow. It might take a while, to be completely honest with you guys. It might take a little bit of time for this reversal to push back into these higher levels. I think at this point though, AMC is starting to, not completely, but it might try to find support around the 20 to 40 level. It seems like 20 will be the next major support that it would have to break to go down to even lower, lower lows here. But again, there's enough attention and volume on AMC where I don't think that's really going to be an issue. I mean, look at the volume here. 411 million shares were bought and sold in the exchange here back during the original short squeeze. And if you look, the volume still stays pretty high around the 48 million, millions, all in the million kind of range. It has kind of fallen off here on some of the red days, of course. On the red days, some people are buying, so it does increase. But that's something to be aware of, because the volume back here, if you look, it's significantly lower, right? It's even past further back here, back in the GameStop fiasco, way lower, right? AMC was not that popular, but now very popular. So keep your eyes on it, guys. Keep your eyes on all this stuff. Be aware of the news that's coming out every day. More and more theaters are opening up. Black Widow just released, and that is going to be a great, great film to get more people out to the theaters. We of course know that Fast and Furious helped them out quite a bit with revenue numbers. But overall, I'm looking forward to more news on AMC and hopefully more catalysts to reignite retail interest in the stock and to push it into the higher ranges. But again, it takes patience, and that is going to take, of course, in the end of the day, it's going to take time, right? So we have to be patient, we have to be aware, we have to be always vigilant of what's going on with AMC. But other than that, guys, that is pretty much it for AMC. I hope for any thumbs up today. Please like the video, subscribe if you're new, hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video like this. If you guys want to pick up some free stocks with WeBull, check out our link in the description below so you guys can get 2 free stocks with WeBull. It's a great brokerage and we personally use it. Also, if you guys want to join our private Discord, check out our Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, guys, that is all I have for you guys today. I'm Kyle with Finance Bro. Take it easy.